Yeah, welcome to today's discussion, on the virtue of accuracy. Okay, now let me start by, asking you, how often do you think about, the virtue of accuracy? Okay, now not just accuracy in terms of your work life at your workplace, but in life generally. So accuracy is not just a skill like you apply in your work, but it is a mindset and a virtue that shapes success, responsibility, and trust in every area of life. So it separates ordinary efforts from extraordinary what results. Okay, so today I would like to show you how powerful, the virtue of accuracy is, and I would like to share with you some real life examples that you can reflect upon when it comes to the virtue of accuracy. So, are you ready to see how accuracy can transform your life? So, let's look at some quick examples on the virtue of accuracy and how it applies to our life in general. And the first one is, I'll tell you about the archer and the target. Now, when I say the archer and the target, you want to imagine, an archer with a bow and arrow, okay? The bowstring is pulled, tightly, and this archer is aiming at a target, okay? Their entire focus is on hitting this target. Every muscle is tensed with focus, every movement, every breath, every thought is focused on hitting, their target. Now, the actual success depends on accuracy, the virtue of accuracy or precision. So he has or she has to keep, the hands steady. So there should be steady hands, proper alignment, of the bow and the arrow, and a clear focus. One slight tremor or one distraction from any of his sense organs or her sense organs, the arrow misses its mark. So the archer doesn't want any distraction by sound, by movement, even with by thoughts. Okay. So if the arrow misses the target by the fraction of an inch off, the target is missed entirely. So it can mean losing a competition if the archer is actually involved or engaged in a competition. So similarly, that is how our lives work. Sometimes small errors lead to big consequences, and this is due to what lack of the virtue of accuracy. So you don't want distractions around you. So whether it's a report at work, or a conversation with a loved one, or a personal goal, small errors can lead to big consequences, and the accuracy makes all the difference. Okay, so accuracy is about paying attention to the smallest details to ensure success. Okay, you want to avoid all distractions, even those things you regard as little. You want to what? Pay attention to them, in detail. So have you been missing your goals because you have overlooked the little things in your life? Okay, so I want to let you know, in life, accuracy is about, the small details. Okay. Missing by just a little can lead to significant outcomes. So accuracy requires discipline and, great attention to details, even regarding those things, you look trivial, okay, or unimportant. So in life, even small deviations from the truth and exactness can have, significant consequences. So the lesson here about the archer and the target is that accuracy keeps us aligned with our goals. You want to focus, okay? You have to prevent distractions or deviations, okay? You don't allow your senses to pull you here and there when you have a goal, on target. Now, the difference between success and failure is often just, a fraction of an inch, okay? Just a slight shift can cause failure, okay? And accuracy is the solution to it. Now, the next example I'm going to give you is the surgeon, the heart surgeon and his scalpel, okay? Now, for this example, I want us to, now you should imagine you are in the hands of, a heart surgeon for a life-saving operation. Every incision, cut, and stitch they, make has to be perfect and precise because one wrong incision could be disastrous or even cost one's life. So their steady hands, precise actions in, this surgery and ability to stay accurate saves life. So a small error could mean the difference, okay, between life and death. So accuracy here isn't just a skill, okay, it's responsibility. People are counting on you. For instance, if you are a surgeon or you are a doctor, okay, you have to ensure that when you are performing your surgery, you are very exact and accurate because one tiny line, it's a case between life and death. Now, let's think about our own life. Who and who depends on our accuracy, our consistency, and our reliability? Is it your family? Is it your colleagues? Is it your community? So who is relying on your being accurate today? Okay. So accuracy is a virtue of responsibility. When others depend on you, your precision can make all the difference. Okay. So the lesson here is that our actions, especially in critical moments, must be deliberate and exact to impact, others positively and profoundly. Okay. Now the third example I want to share with you is, for instance, let me use NASA, okay, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, okay, or anybody that explores in space exploration. Now, first of all, let me ask you, are you planning and executing with the precision needed to achieve your dreams in life? Okay, so with this example, you get to understand the virtue or the importance of using accuracy in planning and executing your dreams. Now, when NASA, for instance, sent a rover or a spacecraft to Mars, every calculation, whether they have done millions of calculations, has to be flawless and perfect. Okay? If they are off by any tiny error, even if it is a fraction of a second or a degree, the spacecraft could miss the planet completely and land somewhere else. So all their hard work depends on getting it right the first time. Their success relies on careful but correct planning and accuracy, applying the virtue of accuracy. Now, this reminds us that accuracy is critical for achieving big dreams. Whatever you want to be or become in life, okay, you need the virtue of accuracy. Now, success often, depends on the small, careful steps we take along, the way, in our journey through life. So what you should have in mind is long-term success is built on accuracy. Okay. Now, to achieve your goals, whether you want to land on the moon, okay, you must plan, and execute with care and precision or with accuracy. So no success is possible without accuracy. There is none you can think of. Okay? So the lesson here is accuracy is essential for achieving our long-term goals. And success often depends on careful planning and execution of what our plans. All right. Now, the fourth example I'm going to share with you in this video is a builder, the builder's foundation. Now, are you building your life on a strong, precise, accurate foundation? That's the question. Okay. Now, let's bring accuracy closer to our homes. Now, I want you to imagine this scenario. Now, imagine a builder laying the foundation of your home, or you have some project, some skyscraper that will be your, office. And this builder knows there is no room for what? Error. Okay? This builder constructing your home or a skyscraper must ensure the foundation is perfectly what? Level. Because even a slight miscalculation or some blocks that are arranged uneven can cause the entire structure to tilt or to lean or to even collapse years later. So similarly, that also applies to our lives. The foundation of your life includes your values, your decisions, your habits. They all need to be what? Precise and accurate all the time. Okay? So everything depends on getting the basics right. Okay? Because they are the foundation of everything you build. Okay? Your values, your decisions, your habits. These are the basics. You want to ensure that they are very, very accurate in whatever you're doing. So, are you building your life on a strong foundation using the virtue of accuracy? So, I want you to take this. Just like the foundation determines the strength of a building, okay? Accuracy in your foundation. When I mean your foundation, means including your values, your decisions, your principles that you live by, is what holds you up, okay, the rest of your life and gives, strength, to your living a healthy life, a wealthy life, and even a happy life. So the lesson here is accuracy in your principles and decisions ensures lasting success in life. Now, in life, accuracy is foundational. Okay, our principles and decisions must be firm and precise to sustain growth and success. So accuracy strengthens what we build, whether it's a project, you know, a relationship, or a personal habit. Okay. Now, the fifth example I'm going to share with you is, the watchmaker's craft or art. Okay. Now, are you overlooking the small tasks that could lead, to your big success. Now, let me explain something here. Or are you paying attention, to the details in your life? Okay, like, the watchmaker does, when building or, creating a wristwatch. Now, let me ask, have you ever looked at the inside of a Rolex watch? A watchmaker assembles hundreds of tiny components to create a functional wristwatch, for instance, like a Rolex. So if one cog or tooth of a gear is slightly misaligned, the entire watch fails to keep, to time or even stops working. So remember, it is a masterpiece of hundreds of tiny gears and springs working together, inside the Rolex. So if one gear is misaligned or out of place, the entire watch stops working. So what does this show us? This shows us something profound, okay? That small tasks done accurately, okay, always lead to big success. So every detail matters, just like the watchmaker is building a Rolex. So are you paying attention to the small things in your life? That's the big question. Are you paying attention to the small things in your life? Now you should know that small accurate actions lead to big successes. Okay? You don't have to even think about it. Okay? So do not neglect small accurate actions in your day-to-day activities. Now the takeaway here in this example is in a small task done accurately, over and over again lead to big successes. So every detail counts or matters, no matter how small it seems. Okay? Now, the lesson here is accuracy in small tasks will always lead toward excellence in the bigger picture. So every detail matters. So every accurate small efforts, we take lead us towards significant milestone in our journey through life. Now, the next example I'm going to share is the air traffic controller. If you have been to, an airport, a very busy one, okay? So the question we have to ask ourselves is, how many people rely on, our accuracy today? Okay? Now let's think about an air traffic controller directing planes at a very busy airport. Okay? Imagine you are that air traffic controller. Now, they guide planes safely through the skies. Their accuracy saves lives. They can't afford a single mistake. Okay? Because lives depend on their precision and timing. That single mistake can lead to what? Disaster. So their instructions must be accurate because lives depend on it. Lives depend on their instruction. Okay? So he or she, must ensure precise communication, accurate communication, and timing to avoid collisions of these, planes. Okay, moving here and there and to and fro, in and out of the what airport. Okay, so in your own life, how many people rely on your accuracy? Okay, whether it is in your family, your job, your community, your precision impacts others more than you realize. Okay. Similarly, your accuracy in timing and keeping to time impacts more people than you realize. So the takeaway is accuracy isn't just about personal success. All right. It can mean, difference between safety and chaos for others. Accuracy means mastery on what you do and how you do it, where others depend on you, like what we just talked about, the air traffic controller. Okay, so the lesson here is accuracy actually saves life. It is vital in roles where others depend on your clarity and competence. Now, you're being accurate in roles of responsibility ensures safety and success for others. Now, the seventh, example I'm going to give is the example of, the needle and the thread. What do I mean by the needle and the thread? Now, let's ask ourselves this question. Are your actions precise enough to build strong connections? Nowadays, people want to get connected to the right people, you know, in order to get opportunities or be exposed to opportunities. So, have you ever tried, for instance, sewing a torn piece of fabric? A steady hand, accurate stitches are very important because if the stitches aren't precise, the thread pulls loose and, the tear even widens. So a steady hand and a sharp focus are needed to create a strong seam, okay? So when sewing, a needle must you know, follow the fabric's weave perfectly to create a strong seam. If misaligned, the seam becomes weak and tears easily. So similarly, accuracy strengthens the bond we create in life, whether at work, in relationship, or commitments. So what I want you to take away here is I want to let you know that accuracy strengthens bonds and commitment. Now, the lesson here also is that precise actions lead to stronger and lasting results. So accuracy strengthens the bonds we create, whether in work, okay, relationships, or commitments. Now, the next example I want to share, number 8, is the typist's error. Now, what do I mean? Now, are you taking, the time to check, the small details in your life? It is very important. Okay. Now, let me use the scenario of the typist error. Now, let's imagine this together. A typist working on a critical document hits the wrong key and changes 10,000 to 1,000. This error could lead to financial loss or even confusion. So a simple typo can change the meaning of an important document. Okay? Imagine if you are working in a bank, okay, or you are working in a medical lab where they are producing drugs, and certain data and informations are being given, and you're making these errors in typing. So imagine typing 10,000 instead of 1,000 on a budget sheet, for instance. It could cost someone their job or bring about serious misunderstanding. So even small mistakes in daily life, can have significant consequences. So the takeaway here is your everyday actions require care and attention to details. So being accurate in small things prevents what? Big problems. So practice accuracy in every little thing that you do daily. This prevents big problems. So the lesson here is accuracy is vital even in everyday tasks. It ensures clarity, prevents unintended what? Consequences. Now, the ninth example I'm going to share with you is called the chef's recipe. So what do I mean by, the chef's recipe? As a chef, as a cook, you have to be careful when measuring what? Ingredients. So the big question to you is, are you measuring your efforts with care and precision or accuracy? Now let's step into, the kitchen. Every cook knows that. Every measurement matters. Yes. Now a chef, for instance, preparing a signature dish knows that every measurement counts to make a delicious dish or not. So a master chef allows a recipe with exact what? Measurements. So the master chef has to follow a recipe with exact measurements. A pinch too much of salt or any ingredient, and likewise a missing ingredient, and the entire meal is ruined. So precision transforms good ingredients into a masterpiece. But when everything is just right, the result of the cooked food is extraordinary. So accuracy takes good intentions and transforms them into excellence. So are you putting that level of care into your work? Okay? So accuracy is the difference between good enough and excellence. So it is what elevates your efforts. So accuracy is the difference between mediocrity and excellence. So what I meant is that you have to pay close attention to detail and strive for precision. This will elevate your efforts, from being average to outstanding in whatsoever you do in life. Mediocrity results from carelessness or neglect of small but important details, while excellence arises when tasks are done with precision and correctness. Now, for example, consider a painter. If they rush and leave small errors or imperfections, the artwork might seem unremarkable, mediocre. So, however, if they carefully, refine every stroke, ensuring precision in colors and, lines, the result becomes a masterpiece. Excellent. So, in essence, accuracy transforms good intentions or efforts into something truly remarkable by eliminating errors and achieving the highest standards possible. So the lesson here in this case is accuracy in execution transforms, okay, it transforms good intentions into excellent results. So careful execution elevates your efforts to greatness. All right, so the last thing just to wrap up this, talk or, discussion on the virtue of accuracy, I'm going to talk about the compass and the journey. Okay, let's look at it this way. First, are you following your compass with accuracy? Are you guiding your life with accuracy? Now, finally, imagine an explorer being lost in the wilderness, in the forest, with only a compass. Now, with a compass, they have a chance, but only if they follow it accurately. First, you must calculate, the correct bearing or angles on how to find your way out of that wilderness. Now, even a tiny miscalculation in your bearing and your direction can lead you miles off course. So life is like that too. Accuracy in life is the compass that keeps, us aligned with our goals, our values, our purpose. Without accuracy, even the best tools won't get us where we need to go. Yeah, just like the explorer. He was not accurate in, getting his bearing, locating angles and directions. So how can he find his way? The takeaway here is accuracy keeps you aligned with your purpose. Without accuracy, even the best tools and intentions you have can lead you astray. So a lesson, without precision, even the best tools won't guide you correctly. So you can see the essence of accuracy. All right, so accuracy isn't just about hitting the mark, it's about discipline, responsibility, care in everything you do. Okay? So I want you to ask yourself, are you aiming for a target or just settling for good enough? Now let's aim higher always and together. All right, so thank you for joining me. If this message resonates, with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, the virtue of accuracy transforms good intentions into impactful results. So practice accuracy in your thoughts, in your words and actions every day. I'll see you. Bye.